Dr. Mahathir of this country, he did raise his voice. And he spoke out against the unjust role of the monetary system and of the US dollar. He did it. And not because you have an election coming up in this country, does it mean that I must be silent on things that I must speak? Oh no, I am not concerned with your elections at all. What is right has to be spoken. And last night I spoke about Charles de Gaulle and about Dr. Mahathir on this. The United States is in decline. Something has to replace the United States. Our ilmu akhiru zaman, our Islamic eschatology tells us that Pax Britannica was emerged for Dajjal in day 1, and then came Pax America, Dajjal in stage 2, and finally will come Pax Judaica, or Israeli rule over the world. But the Arab Spring recognizes, those who crafted the Arab Spring, the second Arab Spring, they recognize that in order for Israel to replace the United States as the ruling state, Israel will have to come out from behind the hijab and wage great wars. And Israel does not want to wage these wars and appear to the world as an aggressor. I've been saying this for the last, 15 years or more. So in order for Israel to wage her great wars, she has to create some casus belli, some justification. And for that you need the Arab Spring, which will bring Islamic governments to power. And when these Islamic governments come to power, the world has to be presented with the spectacle of Islam re-emerging as a menace to the world. And that would justify Israel's wars as wars to save mankind from these Islamic jihadists, these Islamic militants who want to take over the world and convert all of mankind to Islam. And that's where we are now. But I suspect, and I share with you my thoughts tonight, this is my suspicion, that Dajjal has some tricks up his sleeve. And he has some more work for Constantinople. Yeah. I have said, and this is my opinion, Allah knows best, that the world of Islam is waiting for Imam al-Mahdi, alayhi salam. And I'm getting emails all the time, Sheikh, Imam is born. Yes, the Imam is in so and so place. I can get you to meet him, Sheikh. The world of Islam is waiting for Imam al-Mahdi. And we say Imam al-Mahdi is an Arab, not Indonesian, not Japanese, not Sundanese. He's an Arab. And he's going to come out of Medina, not Jakarta. He's going to come to Mecca. And he's going to proclaim himself Imam in Mecca. Mecca has never been a Shia city. That does not mean that you never had any Shia living in Mecca. I never said so. What nonsense. Mine is a perfectly correct statement, that Mecca has never been a Shia city. This is a perfectly correct statement. And Mecca will never come out to a Shia to recognize him as the Imam. No, that will never happen. Don't be annoyed with me for speaking what is correct. So Imam has to be a Sunni, not a Shia. But the Shia say no, Imam al-Mahdi is going to be Shia. And I'm almost certain that the enemy has already groomed an Imam al-Mahdi, who will proclaim himself to be Imam al-Mahdi. He'll be Shia. As soon as Israel attacks Iran, I expect that Imam to emerge. And I say to my Shia brothers, and you are my brothers, I hope you don't be annoyed with me. I am anticipating that the Shias are going to be wild with joy. And like cattle, they will flock to him and accept him. This is indeed the Imam al-Mahdi. And Imran Husein will be weeping in Kuala Lumpur or in Trinidad. So that's the plan for the Shia. But I believe Dajjal has a plan for the Sunni as well. I think there's going to be, with Imam al-Mahdi comes the Khilafah. So I think the city of Konstantinopolj is going to see an effort to revive the Khilafah. So we can get another Ottoman Khilafah. And someone who is Turkish probably will claim to be Imam al-Mahdi. I understand there's somebody already in Turkey claiming to be Imam al-Mahdi. But if you look at the Turkish government, the present Turkish government, you can see the pattern, that they didn't come to power by accident. Oh no! There was a plan and a design all the way from the United States to bring this party to power in Turkey and to get this party to take control of the Turkish military, something we consider to be impossible. And there are many Turkish generals in jail now. And this government in Turkey fooled me. Because, we accept someone at face value. If you say you're a Muslim, we say you're accepted. And you're preaching Islam, we accept you. Until we get evidence to the contrary. So I'm not sorry that I made a mistake. No, I'm glad. But when they did what they did in Libya, then I saw the true face of the Turkish government. That they were not in NATO only to protect themselves from Russia. Oh no! They were up to their neck serving NATO interests. Serving Zionist interests. With what they did in Libya, to intervene in Libya, to send weapons and send men into Libya, to overthrow the government in a shameless, bloody act. Shameless, bloody act. Ramadan, shall I remind you? It was Ramadan. The people had fasted all day long, and you evil people, you followers of Shaitan, who say you are waging a jihad, no jihad, a Yankee jihad. You choose that moment when the people are breaking their fast to infiltrate your people into Tripoli and then start shooting wildly, and you kill 1,200 people to sow panic in Tripoli? People who have just fasted for the whole day, don't you have any shame? And then the British Prime Minister and the French Prime Minister land in Libya to show their support for the new Libyan regime. And guess who came after them? Yes, shamefully so. I'm telling you to your face, Mr. Prime Minister, shamefully so, the Turkish Prime Minister. So then we got the true face of this Turkish government. And what they're doing now in Syria only confirms what we suspected. If a new Khilafah is to be established in Constantinople, and someone is to claim to be Imam al-Mahdi and so on, then Turkey has to expand. Turkey has to take over Syria and drive Russia out. The Russian naval base in Syria. Turkey, they don't want you in the European Union. You can't get in the European Union. No, they don't want you. Well then, what else Answer: if we can't get into the European Union, then what we're going to do is become the new Khilafah. And so the Turkish Union now, Turkey expands and Turkey becomes a power in the world of Islam. Turkey already has the most powerful military force in the whole world of Islam. The most powerful military force is the Turkish Armed Forces. And so the Western world, the Zionist world, will use this new Khilafah that is coming, this bogus Khilafah that is coming, as bogus as the Shia Imam al-Mahdi who is coming. Don't be annoyed with me, because this is coming. And they will use this new Ottoman Caliphate to get the world of Islam to again bow down to this Khalifa. Not me. And they will use this Caliphate to again attack Eastern Europe, Rome, and try to contain Russia. But Akhir Zaman will witness the Malhama. Remember the hadith that I've quoted so often from Sunan Abi Dawood. Umran Bayt al-Maqdis Kharabu Yathrib. That when Jerusalem is at center stage, flourishing, that's my booklet at the back of Medina. When Jerusalem is at center stage, flourishing, at that time Medina will be in forlorn desolation. That's where we are now. Then he went on to say, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, he's speaking to Mu'az ibn Jabal, radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He went on to say to Mu'az, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Kharabu Yathrib, Khuruj al-Malhama. At that time when Medina is in forlorn desolation, look for the Malhama. And that's where we are now. The Malhama is the great war. And that great war will be between the two world powers. You have the Anglo-American Israeli NATO alliance on one side, who want to rule the whole world, and then gave to Israel that rule over the world. And then you have Russia, which refuses to bow down. No. Vladimir Putin is a patriot. And this godless Soviet Union has gone into the garbage bin. The Zionists tried something, but it failed. And now Russia is returning to Christianity. That is the strategic reality of this moment. Russia is returning to Christianity. How can you explain that the State University of Moscow, which has one of Russia's foremost intellectuals as the head of international relations, this man has so much respect for me? Yes. And they have contacted me, and they want to extend an invitation to me to come and lecture at the State University of Moscow. This is the evidence that Russia is returning to Christianity. Rome is returning. But the Salafis don't listen to me. Oh no, they will not. Russia is returning to Christianity. And Russia will not bow down to the Zionists. And China is a proud civilization. I'm not talking about the Chinese in Singapore. China is a proud civilization. And China will not bow down to the Zionists. But, so this is the Malhama which is coming. When this Malhama comes, the Prophet said, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, it will be such a great war that birds flying in the sky will fall down. And I interpret that to mean that nothing will fly anymore. No more aeroplanes. No more fighter